bike review from an average guy, an average rider who loves to ride. So I'm thinking about buying a Yeti SB130. I need to know a few things. Does it jump? Does it climb? Does it corner? Does it do chunk? Is it stable? Is it comfortable? And a bunch of other things. So I'm going to explore that and hopefully share that with you, and we'll come to the conclusion together. The first test, does it high-speed chunk? I would say yes.
Definitely used all the travel there. Whew.
All right, I'm bringing something completely new to you today, and that's a bike review. I normally don't do these because, hey, I'm not a bike expert, but I do know how a bike should feel. So I'm going to take it from that angle and kind of share with you my thoughts on how I thought this bike felt. Presenting to you today the 2020 Yeti SB130, and this bike is loaded. Here's the laundry list. Start from the top. P&W Range carbon bars. It's got the Guide Ultimate brakes. The drivetrain is the XX1 Eagle. The wheel set is a DT Swiss XMC 30 carbon wheel sets. The wheels are worth more than the Trek that I currently ride. It's got Cush core setup on the Maxon Ardent up front and the Aggressor on the rear, one up flats. It's got an Infinity Link, which I have no idea really what it does. The rest of the suspension is as follows. Up front we have the Fox 36 Fit 4, and in rear we've got the DPX2. So both really tunable and adjustable. Something tells me this is completely different than what I'm currently riding, since my regular bike I ride every day is from 2016. One thing that's important to me on a bike is, does it climb slow tech? So I'm taking this little section pretty slow. I notice that there is no hang up on the rear tire. Everything wants to come with me as I get up and over these little square rocks. So far the suspension is doing what it's supposed to do. Now we're going to take it to a little bit more of a technical climb. Almost straight up at the start, you got to hop up and then you've got to pedal up. Pretty significant. I've struggled with this before, and I've taken other people who have struggled as well.
How do you turn it on?
On, yeah.
Oh, hey, how's it going?
Introduce yourself.
Edit this crap out. RMBL.
Sorry, Tim. I couldn't resist.
So the question is, will this cat like Yeti climb the toughest little climbs? And the answer is, of course.
My general feeling here is this actually descended like an elevator. It was smooth.
The interesting thing here about this Yeti is a 130. I thought for sure I'd be more of a 150 guy, but man, it handles that chunk.
So one more test done, one more test complete, one more box checked. It can climb. What about if you throw it at a trail that's unpredictable with sand and then rocks that come out of nowhere and then a couple little tight turns? Can it handle that? Yep, it can. Really well.
Come on, buddy.
And
get
then
off
there's
trail.
the ever important danger noodle test. Very important in St. George, Utah.
Off the trail. There you go. Come on. Get off. Keep going. Keep going. This is a sound you want to avoid. Rattlesnake. Danger noodle.
Oh, he is pissed.
We were able to get him to move about 15 feet off the trail, so he should be safe, and so should the other riders. This section right about here is easy to get cut up on. The traction was there.
He only made it because he's on that bike.
I also want to know, is it playful? Up ahead is a little bit of a rise on the trail, and if you catch it right, it's about 15 feet to the next transition, and I was able to clear it. So it's got a little pop and a lot of fun. And no true test would be without a little cross-country section. The Yeti SB130 is somewhat more of a trail bike than it is an enduro bike. Some guys call it a trail duro, but I just call it fun. What I'm really trying to pay attention to here is the transfer of power from the pedal stroke. Will it maintain its speed once I get there? And how much effort does it take? And it's fairly efficient, actually very efficient. So I'm able to maintain this speed for quite a while. This trail went on for 6 or 7 miles. A little bit of undulation, some climbing, some descending. There's a little bit of chunk here. And it was nice to try this too to see how it handled it. And it felt relatively smooth for a short travel bike. To me, a good bike can handle pretty much anything you throw at it on the trail. Here's about a 3.5 foot drop. Hit it effortless. Smooth as silk. So here I'm going to try and put a little more speed into it and really see how it just handles a trail that is fairly slippery. You can see there's a lot of debris on this trail, but it has quite a few corners. So I wanted to see if I can confidently tackle small undulation, little bumps, and loose corners. And it passed all the tests as well. Then, of course, to be very thorough, the crash test. It crashed with flying colors. And just to be fair, I thought we should take it to a different environment and test it out on loam versus dust, and then see how it works on skinnies. Or maybe not, maybe another crash test. Again, this bike crashed very well.
Slippery.
I hope you all appreciate this because there's not many people that'd be willing to take one for the team and do the crash test. And for those of you who love to travel on gravel, no surprise, the Yeti SB130 seemed to respond very well to this gravel road. The good news is, I don't ride gravel very often, so I won't have to do this very much. And I've always read and heard other people talk about the efficiency of climbing, so we gave it a good little test on a climb here. This was a 2.8 mile climb that gained about 1,190 foot elevation, and the bike was actually very comfortable, and the efficiency of the pedaling was better than anything I've ever ridden. I was able to make it up actually quite easily. And then if you're like me, you've got to know if it can flow. So I've taken it to a small, short trail in Seattle at the Duthie Hill Park called Ryan's Eternal Flow, just to see how well it did. You be the judge.
Phew! Woohoo!
Sorry about the lighting. It is Seattle, and we were riding about 5 minutes ahead of a pretty major rainstorm.
Woo!
And then, of course, you've got to know, can it jump? Well, the real truth is I can't jump, and I don't jump very often. But hey, I needed to get you a good, fair test of what this bike can do. So here it is on Gravy Train, which is a progressive gap line in Seattle. Yeti can jump. To take a page from the guy on Forged in Fire, it will kill. In this case, it will jump.
Holy smokes.
Thanks, boys.
Dude, that was awesome.
I rode this. I got on it the first time and just instantly fell in love. Don't tell the guy that's selling it that I really like it. I really got to try and beat him up for price.
RMBO, riding my best life. For the record, Jason from RMBO was not paid by Yeti for this review. In fact, he hasn't been paid by anybody for any reviews. In fact, this is his first review. But if Yeti wanted to give him a free t-shirt, he'd take it.